Oh, yeah.
What's this?
Wait, what?
If you close me, I'll close your life.
Yo, what?
We've got some new shirts, a mug, and some exclusive pins, so head on over to crowdmate.com/theamazing in the description.
Puppy, please, let me go.
Buy my merch. Buy my merch. Buy my merch. Buy my merch.
Bye, please.
Den? What are you doing here?
I'm here to collect upon this old bet. It's time for pink hair.
Wait, Den, I can't. It'll conflict with my identity. Like, people would know me with this colored hair, and not only that, I just got choked. First of all, I hated it, but then I started to get kind of into it.
Beyonce!
And there goes my wig.
There you go. Thanks for losing, Moz. Okay, bye.
Hi, my name is Maz, and this is about how I got my one and only Valentine's card. So back when I was a senior in grade 12, I used to be a prefect, which is the same as being on the student council. As part of our responsibilities, we needed to showcase how we can effectively manage school events, the biggest of which was the prom. But prom ain't cheap, and we needed ways to raise our funds for the event. And what was the best way for us to get money for the prom? That's right.
Give us your money.
What? Wait. No, it wasn't mugging. That was our second best way. It was actually up to the Valentine's Committee to raise the most money for the prom. And you may have guessed it, but I, along with my fellow prefect Beverly, were in charge of such a crucial committee. Now, it may not sound like much, but this Valentine's Committee was absolutely essential within our school. Because imagine that you're a poor soul in love with this handsome dude that everybody seems to like. You've been trying to get senpai to notice you for ages, but you just can't. And then finally, the long-awaited Valentine's Day comes rolling around. What do you do now? Psh, what? You're gonna walk up to him and give him your chocolate with flowers and say,
Hey, I like you. Get her! Oh, God, no! Ah! Oh, God! Disgusting!
hey, I'm sorry to say this, but you did this to yourself. Because what you should have done is use the anonymous service provided by the Valentine's Committee. Beverly and I would organize a bunch of senior students to dress up in togas, pink lipsticks, wings, and send them off to go from classroom to classroom to spread the romantic festivities. Not only that, but for a low price of $1, you could get your love letter delivered anonymously to another student. That way you could totally prank your bro friends and get them a Valentine's card to show them how much you appreciate them. But not like in a romantic way or anything. Baka. And for some extra dollars, we would even add a rose and a Valentine's themed lollipop to really spice it up. And if you're even more dedicated, you could pay more so that our certified guitarists, singers, and dancers would essentially serenade the person that you're choosing. Isn't that lovely? Wait, you really want me to sing this? Like, legit, are you serious? Because you paid good money for this, and I didn't want you to. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. But you didn't have to cry. Now, it may seem like it was all fun and dandy, and to be honest, it actually was, but it was equally a ton of hard work. On the form for the anonymous message, people were meant to write their intended person to deliver to, which class they would be in, and their specific message. But see, as the leaders in charge, we ended up seeing almost all of the Valentines that came through. And to be honest, this was like a constant stream of tea. And I loved every second of it. Bro, Stacy's been sending roses to like 12 dudes. Ooh. Alex is sending Valentines to Maria when he's with Eliza. Bro, don't even get me started on Sophia. Wait, Sophia, why are you sending my mom a Valentine's card?
Tu madre y yo compartimos una noche que nunca podría olvidar.
But the downside of this abuse of power was that we could also see who sent Valentines to each other. Beverly had gotten some here or there, but I had yet to see one for me. And sure, that may sound kind of sad, but I had been around 7 or 8 different schools during my entire educational life, so I was used to never getting any. Besides, the schooling year started in January for us, so it wasn't a personal thing for me. It was more logical, like, yeah, why would anybody send Valentines to a new kid who they've barely known for a month, you know? And honestly, it didn't really bother me at that point, especially because I had my hands full just trying to plan and organize the Valentine's delivery. It was so hectic that I legit forgot to dress up in the togas that the rest of the committee members had worn. And so there's actually a picture out there of all the seniors in colorful reds, pinks, and whites, and then this random brown kid in the back wearing his school uniform. So suffice to say, I had completely forgotten about my lack of letters. But what I didn't realize was that Beverly, my partner, had noticed that as well. And it may have been because it was our final year, or maybe because of how cynical I'd gotten, or maybe because she was thankful for my contributions. But she took a little pity on me. Because on the last day, when all the deliveries had been sent, I was surprised to see that there was a singular letter there waiting for me. And inside it read, "Dear Maz, thank you for being my partner and working hard for today. You did great. Beverly." The funny thing is, she actually spelled my name wrong on the Valentine's card. But I didn't care. I had never received a Valentine's card before, and the fact that she had noticed it and decided to write one for me on my last school Valentine's Day was just too considerate. And I was so touched by such a genuinely kind gesture that I didn't even care about the mistake. Because despite Valentine's Day running like clockwork, having positive reception, and being financially successful, this, my one and only love letter, was what made that day special for me. Thanks, Beverly. I really do appreciate what you did. And I hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. What makes this even sweeter is the fact that Beverly and I weren't even friends. Like, sure, we had a lot of responsibilities together and we were prefects, but I don't think she would have ever called me a friend, you know? Isn't that the sweetest? It warms my heart every time I remember this story. Alright, and as always, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a meme of a comment, and consider supporting me by grabbing some of that swanky merchandise, helping me on Patreon, or joining my channel as a channel member. Alright, laters everybody, and stay amazing. Oh, hey, Becky. We got a lot of maths homework today, so do you want to maybe work on it together when we get home? I'd love to, babe, but I've got a committee meeting, so I'll do it with you later. Okay, babe, I'll see you tonight. Oh, man, I forgot my calculator.
So you take the X and shift it to the other side.
Oh, that makes sense. James? Becky? No! So before I begin, I should probably say, disclaimer, cheating is bad and you should not do it. And so with that out of the way, I can get on with some sneaky little tips that other people did. Wink, wink, because would I cheat? Oh, fuck. Yes, okay, so I'm not sure if this was just the case for my school, but when we were sitting exams, the teacher would come around and usher us and ask us all to put our phones in our bags. They were kind of strict about it, and they even would check the lining of our pockets to see if they had any kind of phones inside, right? It was kind of strict, and it didn't even make sense back then, because keep in mind, this was back when it was grade 9 or 10, so let's be honest, the exams didn't really count for much. And so what I used to do was that I used to slip my phone in my shoe. I'd then answer as many questions as I could and keep track of those that I couldn't answer or were unsure of. When I was all ready and had those questions in mind, I would ask to use the restroom. And once I was in, I opened my notes, used Google, and just spent ages searching up the answers. I would then stroll back into my seat, all casual, and just destroy my exam. Just destroy it, okay? And needless to say, I got 100% like the freaking genius that I am. Or the other kids, seeing that I was a brown kid with braces and glasses, immediately labeled me as the nerd. But what they didn't realize was the hidden potential of my glasses. Because the best thing about having glasses, guys, is that nobody would suspect cheating with glasses cleaners. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Those little cloth things that people use to wipe glasses with? No one would think to check that for any kind of writing. So what I used to do, especially with maths because I had trouble remembering the mathematical formulas, was I used to write down the formulas I couldn't memorize at the time. Like, does anyone remember the quadratic formula? When they first taught it to us, it sounded like we were casting a demonic spell to summon Satan's calculator, right? It was like plus minus the 2a square root of over c or something. I don't know. I forget, right? No one uses the quadratic formula later in life. So I hated memorizing the formulas back then, and I just wrote them all down the cleaner and look, brought them with me on the exam. And I took my cloth and pretended to clean my glasses. What I actually did though, was transfer over the formulas on spare pieces of paper or on the exam paper itself. I did that because I didn't want to take out my glasses cleaners repeatedly, and it was a bit too risky if the teachers or something saw me, so I used to write down the actual exam itself. So when the teachers walked around and they saw my piece of paper with the quadratic formula written down, they were probably like, oh damn, this kid is smart. He has all the formulas written down. What an impressive memory. Yes, I was that slick. And if that didn't convince you, I even had a spare glasses cleaner in the same pocket, so that if someone saw me pull out the one with writing, I could hand it one without writing to prove that I was an angel completely incapable of cheating. Oh man, what the hell? I was crazy back then.
Maz, it's my turn. I want to tell a story now.
James, that's not how collabs work. You usually give a few lines and you just kind of...
Do you know who I am? I'm the odd one's freaking out, okay? I'm taking over. So, in Spanish class, I would do the exact same thing you did and answer as many questions as I could. The questions I didn't know the answer to, I would intentionally leave blank. And I would also forget to put my name on the test. So I would turn in a test with missing answers, and then afterwards, I would look up the Spanish words that I didn't teach her. I forgot to put my name on the test, and then she would just let me go through the pile of tests. I would find mine, write my name on it, and then while I was there, also fill out some other questions I had.
James, that's actually pretty smart.
I know, aren't I great?
Well, that being said, I do want to seriously warn you guys about cheating. Like, I did these tactics all the way back in middle school and a little bit in year 9 and 10, but back then they didn't really count for much. My philosophy was that if it doesn't really matter for my future, then why not, yeah? But it's a completely different ballgame when it comes to the final few years of high school, and especially university or college. Because you think getting caught in high school is bad? I mean, the worst they could do is, heavens forbid, give you a detention. But university, they outright remove you from the course or kick you out completely from the university. And I got a harsh reminder of this, because one time in a biology exam, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but I used to have this gimmicky sort of scroll pen, Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's those kind of pens where it looks normal, but then you press on these metal tabs things and it pulls out a piece of paper with information on it. So for me, because they were handing out these pens at my university's orientation day, and look, I didn't really care about the gimmick, I just wanted free pens, so I took a handful. And this one biology exam, right? I guess there were more invigilators than normal. Oh, so invigilators are examiners that walk around to see if any of us were, cheating. So one of the invigilators stopped by my desk and was observing me for some reason. And I knew I wasn't cheating, so I kept working on the exam, trying to focus and getting the answers correct. But then she bent down, grabbed one of my spare pens, and scrolled it open. And that was enough for me to cause some internal panic, because I was yelling at myself thinking, I had not considered this possibility, and now I may be in trouble. Because I know for a fact that the pen had a periodic table, physics formulas, and just general science facts, and which in my mind was pretty similar to biology, so she could have absolutely thought I was trying to cheat.
Ha! That's what you get, Maz. Karma.
Shut up, James, because I tried to look like I was deep in concentration with the exam as she inspected the scroll. She then raised her head, taps on the table, looks at me and says, I don't think you're allowed this. I think I was a bit too eager when I responded, oh, okay, that is fine. This is fine. Thank you. I will put this away. And I shoved the pen in my bag underneath my table. Honestly, that incident kind of scared me to the point where I never, ever considered cheating again.
Oh, good day, mate. Put some shrimp on the barbie. Well, that's it for my video. I hope you liked it, guys. It's me, Maz, not his friend James. Make sure to check out his other social media in the description and keep an eye out for his live streams. Get it? Cause I don't have eyes? Hilarious. Although it's funny to tell these kinds of stories, I really do hope that none of you go out on a cheating spree. Teachers, if you're watching this and you find one of your students cheating, I'm sorry. All right, bye guys. Wear your seatbelt.
All right, class, before we begin, I'd like to remind you guys about the assignment due next week. You've had months to do it, so it should be nearly done by now.
Oh.
What are you doing? Wait, Moss, no! Moss, oh gosh, what the help! He's committed Sudoku! Moss, why'd you do it?
I'd rather die than do my assignment. Big mood. Don't you find it weird that with an art style that doesn't use eyes, I don't really use mouths either? Let's change that. Ever since starting this channel, there's been a worry at the back of my head about how I portray myself in my own. Doesn't use eyes. I don't really use mouths either? Let's change that. Ever since starting this channel, there's been a worry at the back of my head. Let's change that. Ever since starting this channel, there's been a worry at the back of my head about how I portray myself in my own videos. In real life, I'm just an extrovert. A dork who laughs a lot, watches too much anime, and compares himself to Bruno Mars way too often. But now, after telling you guys about how I murdered a duck, cheated on a test, stabbed my brother, lost my love, and got way too attached to dancing tigers, wow, I've admitted a lot of things. I wouldn't be surprised if parents looked at me with a mixture of fear and disgust as they shuffle away to keep their children 10 meters away. Well, it's either that or my van filled with candy. And so what better way is there to clear my own image than to regale you with a story about how I pretended to be drugged up, lied to my teacher, and submitted my assignment way later than the due date. Yep, that's a good idea. Now, let me give you a quick medical lesson. Tonsillitis. It's when there's an infection of these little pad things called tonsils at the back of your throat. And not to brag or anything, but I had massive tonsils and I got infections every few weeks. I remember distinctly the doctors saying that my tonsils were the largest he'd ever seen, like 2 golf balls at the back of my throat. Man, it was kind of rough having 2 large balls deep in my throat.